Hello and welcome to the Nobel Leaders Cup. I am Kjotleik. This is the first qualifying round. The game right now is the game between James VI and Thanh Tong. James VI is philosophical and spiritual, and Scotland starts with mysticism and hunting. Thanh Tong is philosophical and creative, and Vietnam starts with fishing and agriculture. These are the starting positions. Here we see James VI next to a river. There is some sheep down here, some fish up here, stone, and also some rice. He starts on the western part of the starting continent, which is the eastern continent. Down south, up to the northeastern part is Thanh Tong. Starting position, riverside, next to a clam. There is more clams here, some rice, some oil, sugar, clams, and some sheep up here. Let's take a look at what is going to happen in this game. Let's start it off, shall we? Getting into it, James VI versus Thanh Tong in the first qualifying round of the Nobel Leaders Cup. They have one city each, and James VI is first to Buddhism. Thanh Tong has Hinduism. 2 cities for James, first to 2 cities to 1 at the moment, 2 cities each at there. Thanh Tong is angry with James VI, so they are not going to be friendly, I presume. 3 cities each now, James VI equal in strength with Thanh Tong, 4 cities to 3 for James. Turn 115, 5 to 3 was for a moment 5 to 4 now, 5 cities each, and Thanh Tong has increased his city count to match that of James. Now James is up to 7 versus Thanh Tong's 6, and James is approximately 1.2 times as strong as Thanh Tong. 9 to 6 in city count now. James has expanded a little bit better now. In the mid game here, 10 to 7, he has settled up north. And we have the touching borders up there, of course, now. 10 to 9, 11 to 9. Construction next for James VI. On to aesthetics. Thanh Tong is getting its literature. And now we have a war declaration here. 11 to 9, and now it's suddenly 10 to 10. So Thanh Tong has taken the city off of James VI now, in the early stages of the war. 10 cities each, turn 208 now. They are equal in strength approximately, and they are furious with each other. At least Thanh Tong is furious, that much we know. 10 cities each. James VI is going for engineering, and he's getting that, and now Thanh Tong is up to 11 cities. James is down to 9. Looks like Thanh Tong is winning the war here. Both of them are going for civil service now though. 11 cities to 9, Thanh Tong in the driver's seat, and James is still a little bit stronger though, but he has lost a couple of cities, and now he's down to 8, Thanh Tong 12 to 8, and James VI is in trouble. James VI is in trouble here, he is down to 8 cities, Thanh Tong has 12, turn 233. This is something he must turn around. It's a little bit weird. We have the peace treaty. James is 1.3 times as strong as Thanh Tong, but he did lose the war. Still 8 cities now versus Thanh Tong's 12. And Thanh Tong is going towards engineering while James is going philosophy. And we have another declaration of war, and James now 9 cities. He took a city immediately, now up to 10. Thanh Tong took it back to 11 to 9. James had 10-10 for a moment there. He was down to 8-12. Now he's up to 10-10. Now he's down to 9-11. James VI on 9. Thanh Tong on 11. James is still stronger than Thanh Tong, but that doesn't seem to affect the Vietnamese leader at all. 11 cities to 9, favoring Thanh Tong, while we have the peace treaty in effect. Turn 264, 265 is coming up, and the peace treaty is soon to run out. 11 to 10 is the city count. 12 to 10 now. Thanh Tong is having 2 cities more. Let's see if there is another war. He's going optics at the very least. James VI gets his nationalism. Thanh Tong is on to astronomy now. He wants to get into the new world to expand. He has 13 cities to James VI 10. James is going liberalism, Thanh Tong is going astronomy. James is 1.1 times the strong of Thanh Tong, and we do have the war. And now we have 15 to 9 in city count. 15 to 9, and James is also going astronomy now. Thanh Tong going nationalism. 15 to 9 is the city count. That's an advantage to Le Thanh Tong that could be very important for him to have. Turn 303. And we have the peace treaty. There is the next peace treaty with 15 cities to Le Thanh Tong, 9 cities to James, and James is still a little bit stronger, 1.2 times the strength of Le Thanh Tong. 1.1, getting his economics. Le Thanh Tong is getting the printing press and going for constitution. The same is James VI now, but with 9 cities to Le Thanh Tong's 15 and 1.1 times the strength. This could be very important for James now to get his colonization up and running. He needs to send out his settlers to colonize the New World, preferably before Le Thanh Tong does it. But Le Thanh Tong has settled up to 16 cities now, and James VI has still only 17 cities now. For Le Thanh, 17 to 9 is the city count, and this is getting so big of a difference that I think Le Thanh Tong is my favorite to win the game now. James VI is getting gunpowder as we have the next war. Le Thanh Tong is going military tradition. 17 cities to 9 is the count. And James is going chemistry next, while Le Thanh Tong is on liberalism, and James is up to 10 cities now. 10 cities to 16. James VI with 10 cities, Le Thanh Tong on 16 cities, and we do have the war going on. He's getting chemistry now, James, and going military science after that. And there is the first Scottish city in the New World. He settled it. He was the first to settle on that continent. 11 cities now. 12 cities now for James. 12 cities to 15, and James is turning this game around. Maybe he's coming back here. And I thought Le Thanh Tong had the advantage with that many cities, but now James is up to 12 cities and he's going rifling as well. 1.2 times the strength of Le Thanh Tong. Le Thanh Tong on 15 cities, James on 12. We do have the peace treaty. James up to 12 cities, Le Thanh Tong on 15, and now both of them are on physics. James VI, 1.2, 1.1 times the strength of Le Thanh Tong. And I wonder to see what happens once this peace treaty runs out. 12 cities. Will James... Yeah, 13 cities. James has settled another city in the New World over there now. 13 cities to 16 is the count. Le Thanh Tong, we have the next war, by the way. There is the next war, and now I cannot tell you who is going to win this game. This is so tense. 14 cities to 15 now. James has taken another, and James is up to 15 to 14. James is turning this game around. 1.4 times the strength of Le Thanh Tong now. And Le Thanh is going gunpowder, but James already has gunpowder. I think he has rifling as well. 16 cities now for James. 14 for Le Thanh Tong. Turned 382, 383, 16 cities to 14. We do have the war. It is ongoing. Le Thanh Tong is getting his replaceable parts, while James is going for steam power. 17 to 13, Le Thanh Tong is down to 13 cities, and James VI, he is doing what needs to be done here. Le Thanh Tong is now on rifling, which means that he may be able to stabilize once he gets that. But 18 cities, James now, 18 cities to 14, 1.6, 1.5 times the strength of Le Thanh Tong. 19 cities to 14. 20 to 13, Le Thanh Tong is down to 13, and James is going steel for cannons. Le Thanh Tong gets his rifling now. That is going to help a little bit, but he's already in trouble. 13 cities left for Le Thanh Tong, and James VI is up to 20 cities, and he is 3 turns away from steel. Le Thanh Tong is going for chemistry, for the cuffs. 20 cities to 13, we are at turn 402. This is a game that very well could end up going into overtime, but Le Thanh Tong is down to 12 cities now. So he's losing more and more cities faster and faster. Maybe James VI up to 22 cities, going for railroads next. Le Thanh Tong getting his chemistry in 8 turns, but he's down to 12 cities already, and James, he is doing what needs to be done. He's expanding and he's attacking and he's taking cities. So he's both settling them and attacking to taking them. Let's see, 12 cities left for Le Thanh Tong still, and James VI on 22. He's getting his railroads up now, James. That is good for the Scots. 23 cities to 12 as he settles another city, and Le Tantong is now taking towards Steel, but it's going to take some turns before he gets it. 12 cities left. Will he keep those 12 cities until he can get Steel? James VI is down to 1.3 times the strength of Le Tantong now. He used to be 1.5, 1.6, which means that he is either losing units or Le Tantong is building more units in his cities, but that should not be a thing. I think James VI may be losing some units in war. He's going for assembly line next though. 5 turns away from assembly line, 9 turns now. 23 cities to 12, he's up to 1.4 times the strength again, and Le Tantong, he is getting steel for cannons himself now, and he kept his 12 cities this far. James is up to 1.6 times the strength again. 1.6. And he's expanding, and he's winning some units in battle. 1.7 now almost. Le Tantong is up to 13 cities. I guess he settled one on that island down there. 24 to 13 is the city count, and with James now 1.8 times the strength of Le Tantong again. Going fascism while Le Tantong is going steam power. Turn 440, turn 441, 24 cities to 13. Biology for James VI now. Le Tantong is going towards steam power, but he has 13 cities versus James VI 24. But we are now getting so late into the game that there is also the added excitement, or maybe there could be some kind of cultural victory going on here. Both leaders have enough cities to try to go for culture at least. I think that James VI, maybe that is what Le Tantong is doing, maybe that is why he suddenly dropped in power, maybe he deleted some of his units trying to go for a cultural victory. Is that what you are doing, Le Tantong? Are you trying to steal the win away from James VI now? James is on industrialism in 8 turns, and James has a golden age that has ended, but Le Tantong is down to 12 cities now. He has lost another one, in other words. Going towards railroads, but I suspect he may be trying to go for culture. We don't have the Le Tantong sliders on the screen. We have James VI sliders, and he is attacking and he's going for war. But Le Tantong, I suspect he may be trying to reach culture now. I suspect he may be going for cultural victory. And he could possibly do that because we are so late in the game. 28, but now he has lost another city. He's down to 11 cities. He is stacking slowly though, and he is weaker than James VI. 28 cities to 11 now. James is going radio. Le Tantong is going combustion here. But with 11 cities left, I suspect maybe Le Tantong is going culture. It's going to be interesting to see here if he can get that. Turn 472 now. But the war, 9 cities left. He lost 2 cities on the same turn approximately there. Le Tantong is down to 9 cities, and James VI 3.6 times the strength, 3.7. He's up to 10 cities again though. Maybe he took one back, maybe one city converted, or he took it in war, I don't know. 30 cities to James VI, 9 cities to Le Tantong, turn 478. The question is, will James VI win domination before the time limit? Or will he have to wait, go into overtime? Let's see what happens here. Le Tantong is down to 8 cities now. 8 cities. And James VI 4.4 times the strength. 31 to 8 is going rocketry, while Le Tantong is going artillery. And I certainly don't think that Le Tantong is going culture at the moment. I think he is going to have to defend this down to 7 cities, 6 cities. This is dropping rapidly. James VI is close to domination. He must be close to domination now with 6 cities left for Le Tantong. Turn 489. 35 cities left for Le Tantong. 5. Is this the last turns? Are these the last turns in the game? 5 cities left. James VI 34 cities to 5. Turn 493. Still no domination though. 5 cities left for Le Tantong. James VI is on 34. But there it is. The domination kicked in. Turn 495, 2075 AD. So James VI did win domination before the time limit, which means that he did get it in regulation time. Congratulations, going through to the second qualifying round, James VI. There were a total of 5 war declarations in this game, the first 3 of them declared by Thanh Tong, a 3-0 victory, a 1-2 defeat, and a 1-0 victory was the city capture numbers. The last 2 wars by James VI, winning 2-0, and then 15-3 in the last war that ended with his domination win after 124 turns and years in war. Let's go take a look at the stats and the graphs and stuff. Here we have the graphs. James is the blue, Thanh Tong is the yellow, and we see here the score, the GNP, the production, the food, the power, the culture, and then the espionage. Let's go take a look at the numbers, the demographics numbers then. James VI to the left, Thanh Tong to the right. We see almost 40 million in population for the Scots towards the end of the game. 4 digits in production, that's good. Only 827 in food, but still good, but not for 4 digits. Top 6 cities I understand. Let's go to the bottom here and see that there were 2 wonders in the BC era, both in Edinburgh, Stonehenge and the Mahabodhi. Let's go and take a look at the top 6 cities then. James VI with the top 3, 4, 5, all top 6 cities then. And they are relatively big as well. Statistics. We see that James VI built 24 cities, 5 religions, 2 golden ages. Currently on 47 windmills, 42 farms, 41 towns. He did build in his cities 26 granaries, 23 barracks, 20 forges, 5 levies. Let's go page down and see the second page. The Sistine Chapel is there. Let's go page down again. And this is a complete list, complete page as well, so let's go page down once again and see the pyramids is the last building built by James VI. Current units are 98 infantries, 33 tanks, 32 workers, down to 1 caravel. He did train a total of 58 cavalry, 35 tanks, 32 infantries, down to 12 war elephants. Let's go page down and see 1 privateer. Let's go page down again. And 1 great spy, completing the list of units built. The kills: 117 riflemen, 60 battle elephants, 41 catapults, down to 2 musketmen. The losses for James VI were 56 cavalry, 17 macemen, 12 catapults and grenadiers, 1 privateer. Let's go page down. Okay, that was the last one, I guess. Yes, 1 privateer. And then let's go and take a look at the numbers for Thanh Tong. 15 cities built, 2 religions, 1 golden age, currently on 17 towns, 1 windmills and 7 villages. He did build in his cities 18 barracks, 17 granaries, 15 lighthouses, down to 1 the Colossus there. Let's go page down and see the Temple of Solomon is the last building built by Thanh Tong. Current units then: 23 riflemen, 2 Sung Than Kongs, 1 worker, 1 battle elephant and 1 catapult. He did train a total of 62 battle elephants, 60 longbowmen, 56 riflemen, down to 4 spies. Let's go page down and see 1 great engineer, completing the list of units trained. He killed 56 cavalry, 17 macemen, 12 catapults and grenadiers, down to 1 frigate. Let's go page down and confirm that yes, and line up. The frigate is the last indeed. And then the losses. Let's go to the top. 117 riflemen, 60 battle elephants, 41 catapults, down to 2 musketmen. Congratulations to James VI with the domination win. Let's go take a look at the victory condition screen. Here is the confirmation. James VI with 74.08% of the land area, which was enough to give him the domination victory. Thanh Tong, well, he had not that much culture in his cities. I guess that means that he had built so many units, probably, that he couldn't afford more research. 60 turns away from culture win for James VI as well, so he would have gotten it, but in overtime. James built the Apostolic Palace. Let's go take a look at the cities. James has 34 of them. Here we are, sort by population and go to the top. Inverness, Pop 18, Livingston, Clydebank 17, and we see the list goes on. Happy with the exception of Kilmarnock, healthy with 4 exceptions at least. Base food is still decentish, in the 30s for all the top 6 cities and a few more in the 30s here, and in the 20s apart from that. Base commerce is, well, 91 in Dundee is good, but apart from that it's not particularly impressive. Production, I'd say, is decent. Building United Nations, building the Apollo program, getting ready in 2 turns as well, so yeah, decent production. Halong, Pop 8 is the last city on page 1, Pop 8 Halong, let's go to the bottom. Halong, there is that, and Da Nang is the first on page 2, and you can pause the video if you want to look at those. I'm going to go to look at the cities left for Le Thanh Tong. He has 5 of them. Let's hope he doesn't lose any when we do this, and quickly go here to sort by population and see that he has 5 cities left. Viet, Tri, Hanoi, Saigon, Haiphong and Long Xuyen. And he is building military units in all of them. Congratulations, James VI with the domination win. And going through to the next round then, tomorrow there is another game in the first qualifying round, that's Janibek versus Lenana. I am Kjotleik, this has been the Noble Leaders Cup, I hope to see you back later, goodbye for now.